All right. Hello and welcome. I see Daryl's on, Mary, Claire, you guys are, I think, muted for the time being, which is fine. We'll get started here. Maybe give a minute or so just to see if there's some more participants. My name is Rachel. There's Jill, there's Lynn, there's Lisa, some of your experts today. I think the weather played a part in this. We weren't expecting this unseasonably beautiful weather, so it is what it is. I think I'm happy for it, so. All right, we'll go ahead and get started, and if there's other participants, we'll admit them as they come in. Again, as I mentioned, my name is Rachel Strasberg. I'm the marketing consultant at the Fields in Lake Elmo. So I do a lot of the social media. I create some of the events, and you'll see me at like the ribbon cutting and things of that nature. And we're happy that you could join us today for how and when to sell and downsize. So there's gonna be an expert-led seminar on how to downsize and when to sell your home. I'll let the presenters kind of introduce themselves here. The first 5 participants, if there's more people, otherwise you guys automatically win, we'll get the gift cards for Gorman's Restaurant, and then we will be drawing for a $100 grand prize winner at the end of the seminar. And I think I'm going to turn it over to Lynn Whitlock, who's my co-part at Ebenezer, and she'll introduce a little bit more about the Fields at Arbor Glen.
Yes, hello, my name is Lynn Whitlock, and many of you have talked to Peggy Arney. We apologize that she's not here today, but she is the property manager for the Fields at Arbor Glen, and she will be back on Monday. So I'm filling in for her today. And just to tell you a little bit about the Fields at Arbor Glen, we are a 55+ community. We're excited. There's going to be a lot of fun community space and outdoor space. So if you're a person who either likes to be yourself or likes, the phone's ringing. I don't know if people are trying to get on Zoom. I happen to be in the office where everybody's RSVPing, so I'll hit mute and go do that afterward here. So just to let you know that we have apartments and we have townhomes. There are 42 apartments and 18 townhomes with a variety of different floor plans. So we'd be happy to talk with you about that. We are scheduled to have our first move-ins in March, so we're very excited. Right now, people feel free to call. If the phone's ringing here, it's because people are calling. We also have a website, fields@arborglen.com. So we're excited to continue to put updates and information there. So we're looking forward to hearing from you. If you have any questions today, a little bit more about the Fields, I am happy to stay and answer those. Thank you.
Well, I see that I have the ability to share my screen, so I am going to give this a whirl here. And can you see that okay? Do you see the PowerPoint, or does it just look like a slide? Can you just verify for me, Jill or Rachel, what you see? Okay, well, we'll get started. My name is Lisa Dunn, and I am a real estate agent with RE/MAX Results. And I am also a team lead of a team of agents that we call ourselves the Change Agents. Our specialty is helping older adults downsize. Now, some of the older adults we work with are still purchasing a home. Maybe they're downsizing into a townhome or a condominium. Some of our clients are moving because they have some specific care needs. They need to move into a care setting. By far and away, the largest number of folks that we work with are older adults who are moving into a senior housing, a 55 plus community. Now, the Fields is pretty special because they have available townhomes. And this is not something that you're going to see in very many communities around the metro. And as I talk today, I'm going to be talking a little bit about the real estate market, a little bit about how to help you manage the logistics of moving. But I also want to give you tidbits that you may otherwise not have known if you hadn't attended the seminar today. So I'm going to try to give you some insider secrets. One of the insider secrets I want to give you, and you have probably seen this on the news, is that there is a shortage of housing everywhere in the Twin Cities metro and even outstate Minnesota right now. That shortage does not just apply to single family homes and townhomes and condominiums. It also applies to senior housing. If you have the opportunity to go and visit the Fields and go look at some of the floor plans, you see some of the things that you see out there. Don't hesitate to get your name on that list because you'll kick yourself if you can't. I am trying to... Did you have something you wanted to say, Lynn? Let's see. I'm going to stop for just a second because it looked to me like Lynn had something. Oh, I think I see what you're trying to say to me. Welcome, Renee, and welcome, Douglas. I've got this up now, so I should be able to keep an eye on who is in the waiting room. So Douglas, Renee, welcome. Glad you could join us. So I'll keep going here. Let's talk about one of the very first things I hear from folks when they're moving into senior housing or they're thinking about moving out of their home. The very first thing I hear when I'm sitting at their dining room table is, I feel so overwhelmed. And one of the reasons that I think people feel so overwhelmed is they think that they need to take all of this as a project and do it all in one day. And one of the tips that I want to give you today is that this is a process and you only have to start with one thing. And as we go through today, I'm going to hopefully give you some ideas about what kinds of things you can do to manage this process a little better. The other thing that we often hear from our clients when we first meet with them is how fearful they feel about moving. And sometimes that's about the kind of the unknown. And sometimes it is just not sure knowing how long their money will last, not sure how to manage the logistics of the move, and not sure what to do with all of the things that they have in their home. Those are all things that Jill and I are going to be talking about with you in the next hour or so. So the other thing that we hear from our clients is, I feel stuck. You probably know somebody who has, in the last year, said to you, this is the year I'm going to move. I am going to make plans. I'm going to go to a seminar. I'm going to tour some senior housing buildings. I'm going to make plans. But here we are in November, and they'll still be in their home in December, January, and February. You probably know somebody, and it might even be the person sitting in your chair that has made those comments in the past. So our job is to help you figure out a way to get unstuck and keep moving forward. My other job is to help empower you. So a lot of real estate agents, the way that we are trained, when we go to sit with you and do a consultation and talk with you about selling your home, most real estate agents start by talking about the house. Because we specialize in working with older adults, and because every one of our clients has taught us how to effectively work with older adults, we have learned that the biggest mistake you can make is start. by starting to talk about the house. The way that we start is we reverse re-engineer the process of moving so that we keep you in control of every decision through every step of the process and really simplify the process for you. So here's what I plan on covering in the next 20 or 25 minutes or so. And then when I finish up, I'll hand it off to Jill. I'd like to talk a little bit about the Twin Cities real estate market, options for you on how to get your home sold, 3 simple steps on selling your home, and smart strategies for selling and moving. As I mentioned, we reverse engineer this process. We don't start by talking about the house. The first thing that we talk about are your goals. What are the things that are important to you when it comes time to think about moving? Some of our clients want to move first. Some of our clients want to be living in their home when they move. Some of our clients want to do things in a particular way, and it's our job to make sure that this process goes the way that you want it to. In addition to your goals, we also want to take into consideration what's happening in the real estate market. Right now, you have probably heard this on the news, is a very strong seller's market. Just this last week, our multiple listing service here in the Twin Cities Metro, we closed more homes on October 31st. We set a record. We closed more homes in one day than we ever have before. That should give you a sense of what's happening in the real estate market right now. So, what is happening now in the real estate market? One of the fears that I've heard from our clients and one of the myths that are out there is that we are in the middle of some kind of real estate bubble and it's going to burst at any moment. Well, let me give you some facts about that. If you compare what's happening today back to what was happening in 2008, the scenarios are very different. In 2008, it was very easy to get a mortgage. You could go in, give them your name and say, honest, I make $500,000 a year, and they'd hand you the papers and show you where to sign. They would very gladly give you a loan just based on what you stated was true. As somebody who just moved a couple of weeks ago, and as somebody who just went through the mortgage process, I'm here to tell you that the mortgage process today is very different. They actually underwrite their loans and you have to provide lots of documentation. So the whole process of mortgages today is very different than it was in 2008. In addition, the number of homes on the market is different. In 2008, there were 8 months worth of homes on the market. Today in the Twin Cities Metro, it's even under this number on this slide, 2.1. We're closer to under 2 right now. We're at about 1.9, 1.8. Let me explain a little bit about what that means. In a normal, healthy real estate market, there are anywhere between 5 and 6 months of inventory on the market. That means if no new homes were listed, it would take us about 5 or 6 months to sell everything. Right now, it's taking us under 2 months to sell everything. And so what that means is the lower we are under that magic 5 or 6 months, the stronger seller's market it is. And as you've likely heard on the news, we're in a very, very strong seller's market. It's a very good time to be someone with a home to sell. The other thing that's different today compared to 2008 is just the sheer amount of equity that people have in their homes. And more than 50% of people in the country have at least 50% of equity in their homes. So we're in a very different place than we were in 2008. And now this is what's been happening since our stay-at-home order happened in March of this year. If you look at this graph, at the beginning of the year, we started with just a gangbuster spring market. Then right around St. Patrick's Day, when we had our stay-at-home order, you can see the number of new listings just plummeted. Of course they did. We couldn't even leave our homes. Now this is the number of showings, and this slide is important because it tells us how many buyers are in the market, how many people are out there looking at homes. We started the year with a lot of showings starting to tick up. We were told to stay at home, and those showings dropped way off. But this is about as sharp a V-shaped recovery as you can get. As of March, the number of buyers in the marketplace are outpacing anything that we saw even last year. So there's a lot of buyers in the marketplace, which is a good thing when you have a home to sell. This is my favorite slide because it means the sale price for your home is continuing to go up at almost record paces. Now, what will this mean for the next 6 months? I can't tell you that. I don't know the effect of what will be happening with the pandemic, but here's what I know. Typically, and I use the word typically because, as you know, we're far from being in a typical time right now. But typically, election years are typically down years. If you look back to the past 12, 16 years of real estate, every year following an election year has been an up year for real estate. We are already in an up year. So if history repeats itself, and it usually does, next year should be another very, very strong real estate market. So what do all of these statistics actually mean for you? So this is the new normal. The way that we are working and the way that we do things now, we had to make a lot of shifts at the beginning of the year, but the kinds of shifts and changes that we've made within real estate are really going to become the new normal. This isn't kind of a temporary state that we're living in. And what I hear from a lot of my clients is, I think I'll wait. I think I'd like to wait for 30, 60, or 90 days and just see what happens. It would be my estimation that that may not be a wise move. Primarily because I really believe that we are coming up over the peak of what the market is going to be able to bear for home prices and your ability to sell your home at the top of the market. I also do not know how long it's going to take for us to get a vaccine or for us to be able to open things up. Right now, what's happening is everything's kind of closing down. I just heard today that a lot of schools are going back to full-time distance learning versus sending kids to school, and that's because our numbers of the virus are going up, right? So I don't know what will happen with the economy in the next 3, 6, 9 months, and if more people get laid off. If our job numbers drop, there will be fewer buyers in the market available to purchase your home. So my advice to you, and this is one of those tidbits I promised I was going to give you, given what's happening in senior housing, how quickly these buildings are going up and how quickly they are filling, when you find a property like the Fields where they've got such a unique property and unique things to offer you, if you decide that this building is a good fit for you, waiting might actually mean not 3, 6, or 9 months, but waiting could actually mean 2 years, because you could be waiting that long for another unit to become available that you like. And you could be waiting that long until the market is favorable again to sell your home. So again, in an effort to keep you in control and in power and being the one who makes the decisions about how the timing of the sale of your home should go, just information for you to consider. Okay, so now let's talk about how you move and how you manage kind of the sale of your home. I have a very friendly public announcement to make. You have probably seen signs like this. We buy houses. Maybe you've even received a postcard in the mail that said, we want to buy your home for sale. Or you have received a letter from a real estate agent that says, I have a buyer for your home. I want to talk about this because there is a trend within real estate. We call them iBuyers. You'll also see this if you are somebody who's online and you are doing some searching online and you come across a form that says, tell me what my home is worth. And if you fill that form in, you put in your name and address, you can get an offer right online without anybody ever seeing your home. I've had a few personal experiences with this now within the last 8 months or so. And one of the gals that I had met with, she received an online offer And what we determined was her home was about a $350,000 home. By the time we compared everything that the company offered her for sale and what she could get on the open market, it was a $42,000 difference. So this model of selling your home quickly for cash may work for some people. If you need to sell in a hurry and you don't want to put up with putting your home on the market, it could work. Just be advised that there is a pretty hefty cost associated with doing that. And again, for some folks, it might be an option, but for the vast majority of us, we worked really hard to earn equity in our home and we deserve to sell it at top dollar. So for the vast majority of folks, this is probably a loss leader. Let's see. So when you work with these companies, what happens is you're working directly with the person who's purchasing the home. You don't usually have representation. You don't have a real estate agent in your corner negotiating. You're working directly with the person who's offering your home. Your home has not been exposed to the biggest number of buyers. And we all learned in high school Economics 101, the more people your home is exposed to, the higher the price goes. And so when your home is only exposed to one person, by and large, you're very likely not going to be getting the highest price for it. And then again, the buyer buys and sells these homes for a living. So there's that. Okay. Oftentimes what you'll hear from these companies is selling your home this way is much more convenient. Selling your home this way is much faster. It's easier to do it this way. And my message to you is if you hire any real estate agent worth their salt, they very likely have a pool of investors in their back pocket that they can invite to give you a cash offer for your home. And the smart way to do that is to have multiple people looking at your home and bidding on your home in this real estate market. So that is a really good way to get involved with this cash market if that's something that you're interested in doing. But working directly with the buyer will likely mean that you're not going to get top dollar for your home. So then let's talk about what the process is for selling your home. 3 steps. I'm going to tell you that the process of selling your home can happen with 3 steps. Let me show you. So the first step is to call a real estate agent early. Because of the clients that we work with, this older adult group, very often it's common for us to come and talk with you a year or 6 months or 2 years before you ever even think about moving. Call a real estate agent early. And I'm not saying that for a sales pitch. There's some very specific reasons why you want to do this. Number one, if you are thinking about owning versus renting and what are the pros and cons between doing those two, a real estate agent can help you kind of suss out what will make the most sense for you. A real estate agent can help you figure out what is the sale price for your home and all of the costs associated with selling, so that as you're planning and thinking ahead and doing some financial planning, you'll have all the information that you need to make good decisions. This is a really important one, how to prepare your home for the market. As soon as you tell the people in your life that you're thinking about moving, everybody is a real estate expert and everybody will have advice for you on the best way to prepare your home for the market. And most of that advice will include spending your hard-earned money on making improvements to your home. If you live in a 1950s Rambler and most things in your home are original, maybe you have a pink bathroom, maybe you have parquet floors, and you talk with someone and they say, change your countertops. For sure, by changing your countertops, that's a for sure way to raise the price of your home and get a fast sale. Unfortunately, if you still have the original pink bathroom and you still have the parquet floors, but you change the countertops, what a buyer sees when they walk through your homes, they don't focus on the brand new countertops. They focus on everything else that hasn't been done. And so we want you to be able to take advantage of this unprecedented market that we're in right now. And most times our clients really do not need to spend money to prepare their home for the market. So, and we want you to be able to take advantage of that. So when you're getting advice from 10 different people in your life about how to spend money and how to prepare your home for the market, take it with a grain of salt and make sure that you talk with a real estate agent early. We can also help you avoid a double move. I don't know about you, but moving once was enough for me. I would not want to do it twice in a row. So you want to make sure that you understand when your unit's going to be ready, and a real estate agent can help you time out when to put your house on the market. And then we can also help you with the resources and getting your home ready. Most of the time, when I tell people call a real estate agent early, what they say is my house is way too messy. I can't possibly have anybody in my home until I clean everything. All you need is a path. All you need is a path for somebody to be able to walk through. And that really is good enough. Most real estate agents are in 20 to 30 homes a week. And if you think you have a lot of stuff, you're probably not somebody we need to worry about. It's those of you that think you don't have a lot of stuff that we have to worry about. So really, don't worry about your house. We're there to assess your home, not how many books you own. Okay, so what do you think? I'm just going to ask you to think through this for a second. What do you think are the first two questions that people ask when they first talk with a real estate agent? First two questions, and they both have to do with money. What's my house worth? And what do you charge? The challenge with these two questions is it's not the place to start. And because you skipped out on being out in this beautiful weather today and you're here watching your webinar in your home, I'm going to tell you the questions to ask. The questions to ask are, what value do you bring to the transaction? How will you help me negotiate the best price for my home? You also want to ask some interview questions around, I'm going to stop sharing this for just a second. There we go. You also want to ask questions to assess how sharp of a listing agent the real estate agent is that you're talking to. You want to ask them how many homes have they sold in the last year. The National Association of Realtors says that the average number of homes that a real estate agent sells throughout the country is 6. I would tell you that average is probably not quite good enough for you, because when you've lived in a home for 30, 40, or 50 years, there's a different skill set that's required. And at this time, when you're making the move of a lifetime, you want somebody who's got some good experience. So when you're interviewing real estate agents, it's a very good idea to make sure that they've sold at least 12 homes in the last year. That's 1 a month. That means they're active, and it means they're engaged and working in the market. My team sold 50 in the last year. So there's a really big range about what you can expect when you ask that question. The other question that you want to ask is, how many of your listings didn't sell? Everything that you hear about what's happening in the real estate market today tells you that there's a shortage of homes. Tells you that homes are selling in multiple offers. And you have probably seen a home on your block where the sold sign went up the day after the for sale sign went up. If you are interviewing a real estate agent and you ask them how many of your listings didn't sell, there's really no reason for them to tell you, I took 10 listings this last year and 2 of them didn't sell. The answer should be 0. Every one of my listings sells. The other interview question that you want to ask a real estate agent is, what is the percentage of the sale price that you receive for your listings? In this market, it would be very plausible for the way a real estate agent would answer that question could be over 100%. Because if I list a home at $200,000 and have 10 offers and sell it for $205,000, my average list to sale price is going to be higher than 100%. That number should not be below 96%. If you're interviewing a real estate agent and you ask them, What's your average sale percentage that you receive on your listings? Should not be lower than 96%. So those are the kinds of questions to ask around listings. The other thing that you want to ask them is, are you full-time? As you can imagine, with the real estate market the way that it is, what we are seeing is that the schools for folks to get their real estate license is full. Those classes are full. And now is not the time for you to hire somebody who's selling ice cream as a full-time job and then working as a real estate agent part-time. You want your agent to be full-time and to have some experience in listing homes. Okay, so let me go back to sharing my screen here, if it will let me. There we go. And back to this slide. Once you have determined that the person that you're interviewing is full-time, that you're comfortable with them, that they'll do a good job for you, that they will add value to your process of moving, then you can decide, then you can ask them, what's my house worth and what do you charge? So let me run an example by you. If you asked me, Lisa, what do you charge? What's your percentage for selling a home? And I say my percentage is 2%. That may not be such a good deal for you if I just got my real estate license last week and I haven't listed or sold any homes. So you want to understand first what is the value they bring to the table, and then understand what they're charging for commission. So the first step, I said there were 3 steps to getting your home sold. The first step is to call a real estate agent. The second step is to know where you are going. Because of what's happening in the real estate market and because things are happening so quickly, please do not let anybody talk you into putting your home on the market prior to you knowing where and when you are going to be landing. A real estate agent worth their salt can help you back into figuring out what is the timing and when should my home go on the market so that all of the dominoes fit in the puzzle that you're putting together. But do not list your home until you know where you are going. Thirdly, how to prepare your home. I feel real strongly about this, so I'm going to get up close and personal with you again. So when you go to prepare your home, there are lots of people will have lots of advice about this. But I can't say this strongly enough for you, that now is the time for you to take full advantage of what's happening in this real estate market. Do not let anybody talk you into spending a lot of money on getting your home ready. In particular, if their advice is to fix 1 or 2 things in your home and leave everything else the way it is. If you put new countertops in your home, I can't sell your home for more after you spend $2,000 on new granite countertops. You're not going to get an additional $2,000 for your home. Now is the time for you to take advantage and make this move yours. Make it as simple as possible. Who do you think benefits the most if I just told you all of the real estate industry and market information, what's happening in the real estate market? Who benefits the most from you putting countertops in your home? Does it make your home easier to sell, and does it make your real estate agent's job easier? Maybe. Your job is not to make your real estate agent's job easier. Your job is to describe to your real estate agent how you want your move to go, and for your real estate agent to make that happen for you. All right. I feel very strongly about that. Okay. So the other thing is that we will hear a lot of people will turn to HGTV to get their professional real estate advice. Please do yourself a favor and turn off HGTV until after you move. HGTV is reality television. They get paid by selling ads and they get paid for entertaining you. The way that we actually sell homes in real life looks very different than what you see on HGTV. And a lot of my clients, I have seen them experience a lot of undue pressure because they saw a show on HGTV and everything in the house was gray carpet and gray walls and gray kitchen cabinets, and everything was gray. And they were convinced that that's what their home needed to look like in order for it to be able to sell. So do yourself a favor and turn off that TV. So here are the other tips that in general we give folks when it comes time to sell their home. Now I think that you probably know this, but it just bears saying that anything that I give you, any of these tips or advice, do generally work for the most part for most people. If you have a unique home, or if you have some specific challenges, if there's specific things that you want to see have happen when it comes time to sell your home, it's your job to outline that for your real estate agent so that they can make those things happen for you. In general, these are the things that most of our clients find work for them. Number one, if there's something in your home that is broken, it's a good idea to fix it. Primarily because fixing it prior to your home being on the market keeps you in the driver's seat, keeps you in control, and gives your buyer one less thing to try to negotiate with you. If at all possible, move first. Especially now during the time where it can be particularly risky to have strangers in your home. We have all sorts of policies and procedures in place to keep things safe, and it is the way that we've been doing things since March. It's not new, but it's a great idea to move first if you can financially swing it. If you're interested in moving first and have some concerns about how that would work financially for you, let us know, because we've got some ideas about how to make that happen. We've helped other clients make this work. So again, it goes back to what's important to you. And I'm not exaggerating when I see this. Empty the house out. No, you do not need to pay for staging. Empty your house out, clean it out, and put it on the market. That's really what you need to do to prepare your home for sale. If you leave with just one thing today, if there's just one thing that you hear from me, just remember that this is your move and it should happen the way that you want to. The real estate market is unprecedented what's happening right now, and it's just a really great time for you to be able to take advantage of that. Please don't think that you need to paint and do carpet and all of that business if that's not what you want to do. There's a report that comes out from the National Association of Realtors every year, and their job, what they try to do with this report is give you an idea about what is the return on investment for any given repairs that you make to your home. This last report only had 2 repairs that had a decent return on investment, which meant if you made the repairs, you'd actually get your money back. Hardwood floors and roofs. Countertops were nowhere on that report. Painting your home gray was nowhere on that report. So please think twice before you let somebody talk you into spending a lot of money to get your home ready. So with that, I know that one of the things that keeps people stuck in their home is their stuff. And so I am going to turn the controls over to my friend Jill and let her talk about how to manage the process of downsizing. You should have control, Jill.
There we go. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Wonderful. Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining us today. I know it's nice outside, but we're hopefully going to give you some really good information to move forward. Lisa said, my name is Jill Freeman. I work for Gentle Transitions, and we are a senior move management company. And what that means is we coordinate all aspects of a move, from helping you figure out what you're going to take, doing your floor plan, getting you downsized beforehand. Everybody works with one move manager, which is really nice. That's your go-to person. We help you with things you're not taking. so that you have the smoothest transition that you can. Now, when people hear downsizing, they start getting clammy hands because it is overwhelming. People get excited when they go and tour places like the fields. They look at all the space and the closets, and then they think that they really want to move, and they go home and their shoulders drop and they open closets, they get overwhelmed, they shut the closets, and they say, we're not moving for years. We just can't possibly do it. That's why people call companies like us. So let me start sharing my video with you. There we go. So Gentle Transitions has been around for 30 years. A lot of people haven't heard of us before because maybe you haven't downsized and moved. As Lisa said, some people are in their homes for 60, 70, 80 years, and they've accumulated a lot of things along the way. So I'm going to share this wonderful cartoon with you because people think they're the only ones with too much stuff. This is a cartoon by the Star Tribune. It's called Zits, and Jeremy is 24, just graduated college, and he's helping his mom put things in the attic. Here you go, Mom. Thanks, Jeremy. What is all this junk? Mostly things we're saving for you. These boxes are your elementary school papers and art projects. That trunk is where I store your middle and high school memorabilia. And we thought you'd want all this old furniture, plus Grandma's china cabinet and knickknacks for your first apartment. Mom, my first apartment will be a backpack that I carry around the world between gigs. And she looks at her son and she goes down to her husband and she says, our attic has been living a lie. So a lot of us have attics, storage rooms, closets, things that we have, things that we're saving for maybe our kids or to pass down. And we really don't think of them as a burden, or we know in the back of our minds they're there, but we sort of ignore it. I have a wonderful adopted grandma. And when she was moving, we started in her apartment that she'd lived in for 30 years. And we were standing in the hallway next to the linen closet. And I said, where should we start? How about here? And she said, don't open that closet. So I knew we had to open the closet. And it was stuffed all the way back. We found Christmas presents that she didn't know she had. We found 35 towels, all kinds of things that she doesn't use. And I said, does this bother you? And she said, no, I just walk really fast past the closet. So I knew it bothered her. And that was the first place that we downsized. And she had everything she used on a regular basis. The next time I came, I said, how are you feeling about the closet? And she said, you know, I haven't even thought about it. And that's how we clear things out of our minds. Even if, as Lisa said, you're not going to move for a year, you can start downsizing today or tomorrow. The sooner you start, the decisions will be yours that you make. If you wait until you get into a crisis situation or you have to move quickly, those decisions get taken away from you, and people don't like that. So start soon, start small in an area that you can see some progress in. And once you start seeing progress, it's a real motivator to keep going. And we'll talk about how to start. I come out because moving and downsizing is a number 10 on the psychological stress scale. That's only behind death and divorce. That's how hard and overwhelming moving is. So I come out and share our tips with people because we move thousands of people. And we have certain experiences that are going to help you. Now, Gentle Transitions knows that most people have family move them. So we share information. And there's things you can take away today to really start. So our process is we always do a complimentary assessment. That means somebody can call us and say, will you come out to my house, take a look around and tell me how much it costs to move. The people that go out are called move managers. You have one move manager that you work with from start to finish. So that move manager will come out just as you would do if you were doing your own move. Look around your house, see what kind of places you might have too much stuff and you might benefit from downsizing, either with your family or somebody from Gentle Transitions. And they help you with the sorting. And then we do the packing, we do the moving, we do the unpacking, and we do the resettling. And I'll tell you a little bit more about that, but that's where you're all done and everything's already in your apartment, set up, plugged in, and ready to go. So why is downsizing and moving difficult for older adults? Well, they're often leaving a home of many years. Lisa talked about that. People have lived in their homes and they have things from when their kids were young. They have things from their grandparents, from their parents, and they put them away in places that they don't see anymore. Sometimes people have physical challenges. It's the backs and the knees that aren't the same as they used to be. And they have a little more trouble carrying all the boxes. Moving is emotional. If it wasn't emotional, if going through our things wasn't emotional, it'd be a lot easier. And everybody has something different that they're attached to and the reason why they're attached to it. And children aren't always available. I had a wonderful client whose daughter lived in Colorado. And she said, my daughter called and said she's coming in through a weekend and we're going to get it all done. Nobody can get it done in a weekend. That's too much pressure and stress that you would put on yourself. So start early and start small. I'm going to talk a little bit about something I took away from a wonderful book called Downsizing the Family Home, What to Save, What to Let Go. It's by Marnie Jameson. And I love this book, and I told people about it because she brings the reader through her downsizing of her parents' home and how hard it is for her emotionally and what she does. And it resonates with a lot of people. I took away 7 wonderful things from this book. The first is they are just things. Chances of us having something that's of incredible value is rare. Having that $1 million white and black rug that we see on the Antique Roadshow, a lot of people don't have that. So that's very rare. Number 2, age does not confer value. A lot of people say, Jill, I have a lot of antiques. Well, the market trend is really different now. A lot of the younger people moving into homes and getting furniture don't want the dark, heavy furniture anymore, the wood. They're going to IKEA and Target. So to have a market value, if you have something that's antique, it needs to be rare and desirable because people wanting to buy it is the market value. Number 3, worth is a worthless term. This is where I talk about collections. A lot of people have collections. I don't know if you can see this, but I collect flying pigs. I love flying pigs. My kids have already told me they don't want the pigs. Pigs are a dime a dozen, but we love our collections. We love the thrill of the hunt. We like to put them on display. Maybe you want to take a few with you. But there is a difference between collections and collectibles. If you think you have collectibles that are worth money, find out now what they're worth. Have an appraiser come out, look at them, talk to people. If you're a doll person that collects dolls, talk to doll people and ask them about the value of certain things. If you have collections, just that you love, think about ways that you can not take the whole entire collection. I had a wonderful client that had 40 birdhouses. They couldn't take the birdhouses. They had one that was very special, so they were going to take that one. And what we did was make a shutterfly book or a book just online. We took a picture of each birdhouse, and then we wrote a little paragraph about each and where they got the birdhouse. They bought one in every state they visited. And then when it came in the mail, she looked at it and she said, I'm taking my birdhouses. So taking pictures of things is a great way to take those things with you, but not have to take the item with you. And that's good for any kind of heirloom or something that you don't need to take with you, but you still want to have that memory. For wholesale versus retail, this is somewhat difficult for some people. You won't get back what you paid for it. Those $1,500 Ethan Allen dining room sets that were beautiful and you used them for years, the chairs are in good condition. If it doesn't have a market value, you won't get near what you paid for it. It does not increase in value. Number 5, condition matters for donation and value. So if you have china that's chipped or vases that are chipped, that's going to take the value down. And a good rule of thumb for donations is if you wouldn't give it to your kids, don't give it to donation. Because they're often selling things to make money for a cause, so they will only take certain items. They're also right now, because of COVID and everybody's been shut in their houses for so long, they're starting to go through their closets. And if you've brought anything to Goodwill or ARC or anywhere lately, you're probably sitting in line for at least a half hour. The lines are really long. Everybody's doing that, so they're getting a little pickier. So you want to make sure that you have things that they will accept. Number 6, family history without provenance or certification may be wrong. If you have something you're holding on to because somebody told the story that passed down in the family, oh, you need to take care of this because it's part of our history, and you find out that it's not even in the era that they were talking about, that might not really be a family heirloom. So do your research as well. And number 7, remember your goal. Your goal is to open up your space, to make your own decisions on where you're going to have your things go, and to make the transition easier and less expensive. You don't want to pay to move things you're not going to be using. You don't want to pay to move things that you're going to put in a closet somewhere. This is a great diagram because it talks about the obstructions to coping. This is why people hold on to their things. Number 1, you see in the upper right-hand corner, memories. People hold on to things because they think if they're going to give it away, they're going to lose the memory that it represents. Some of the decisions that you make when you're moving and going through maybe a house are tough decisions. And maybe you could do something like that Shutterfly book to keep those memories. But really try and balance out the memories you want to keep and the memories that will just add to your clutter. The second is perceived value. People hold on to things because they think that's their nest egg. They think they're going to sell it when they need money. And if it isn't part of the trend now that people are buying, it might not have the value that you think it does. So find out now what the value is. And gifts. If you're holding on to something because somebody gave it to you, that can be really hard, especially if it's your kids. If your kids gave you something, if it's something that they made when they were younger. But now is the time to tell them that they can take it, or really be honest with them and tell them you're making some tough decisions because it's time for you to get ready to move on to something new and not take all the clutter with you. The next one is personal identity. People hold on to things because they want people to know they accomplished something. Maybe you have old trophies, old awards, old jerseys, things that people want to hold on to that says, I did this. That's a great thing to take a picture of. Or share those stories now with your kids, with your family, and pass those stories down. The top one is legacy items. This is probably one of the hardest because people told their grandparents and their parents that they would take those items that they want to pass down. We told them that we'd be good stewards of them, that we'd take good care of them, that we'd be responsible and pass them down when the time is right. Well, now the time is right, but our kids are saying, no, I don't want anything. Then what do? We are stuck with them. So either they take them, or sometimes kids don't even know the stories of the things that you have. If you tell them the significance of it, they are more likely to want it. I can tell you, when I got married, my mother-in-law said, do you want the punch bowl? And I said, sure. And she brought out the most beautiful crystal punch bowl I'd ever seen. And I said, that's lovely. She said, I'm so glad you like it because it's from 1794 and it was passed down in our family. And I thought, don't the other kids want it? And she said, they don't even know it's here, because she had kept it tucked away because she didn't want it to get broken. So I use it every chance I get. Every event I have at my house, I make punch in that punch bowl. And my 25-year-old daughter has already said, I want the punch bowl, because it's part of her history now. She has memories of it. So start taking those things out and telling people the significance of them. That will make it easier for them to say that I want it. I want to hold on to that memory. Listen here, mister, there's no such thing as too much Tupperware. I want to share something with you. So I'm going to stop my screen for a moment. Can you see me? Oh, good. I want to show you this. This is something that we almost all have. This is not Tupperware. This is not Tupperware, the things you get from the salad bars. You don't want to pay to move Tupperware. Tupperware is a dime a dozen, but I can't tell you how many people want us to move them on moving day, 3 drawers of Tupperware. So start going through your Tupperware. Take maybe 10 pieces, different sizes, different shapes, and only move those and get rid of the rest, recycle it. If you cook a lot for the holidays and you say, well, I need them because my family's going to want leftovers, have them bring their own containers and then they take them away so that you don't have to hold on to something like that. All right. There we go. All right, the sorting process. Before you start going through your house, sit down and answer some questions. This will make it so much easier than just going up to a closet, opening it up, and trying to figure out what you need and what you don't need, what you take, what you can get rid of. There are a few really good questions to reevaluate the lifestyle that you want to have, whether you're moving or you're just staying in place and downsizing. A great question is, will you be doing your own cleaning? Well, maybe you have 2, 3, 4 bathrooms and you have cleaning supplies in all the bathrooms. Maybe you can go down to a bucket and carry that around with you and not have all of those cleaning supplies. Will you be cooking, and has that changed over the years? Did you used to cook big family meals and now you've passed maybe the holidays on to somebody else in the family? Maybe as you come across platters and things that you can use to entertain that you don't use anymore, pass it down to those people. So talk about your cooking. Maybe you can get away with having 3 frying pans, small, medium, large, instead of 5 or 6. Maybe you used to do a lot of baking, but you're moving on to other things and you don't need the mixers and things like that anymore. Will you be entertaining? And how has that changed? It used to be 20, 30 years ago, we entertained a lot more formally. We took out a lot of our china. Now it's a lot more casual. People are using paper plates and paper napkins. Maybe you're going to move to a community and you're still going to have poker night, Bible study, book club. But instead of doing the luncheons or the dinners that you used to have, now you have snacks or desserts, things like that. So talk about how you're going to be entertaining. This puts a dialogue in your head. Because when you go to that closet and you've already talked about these things and you come across that platter, you're not thinking, oh, do I need that? Will I need that? You've already talked about it, and it's easier to let things go. Do you need all your seasonal holiday decorations? Well, often when I do this in person, I ask people to raise their hands if they have one bin of holiday decorations. I have never gotten a hand. One lady asked if I meant one bin per holiday. No, one bin. We love to decorate for the holidays, but often people have too much. We have too much that the things that we really want to get pride of place get covered up. So now the holidays are coming up. Now is the time to take those out. Only put the things out that you really love, and then donate or give the family a chance to take some other things that you're not going to be putting out. I used to decorate my entire house. Now I usually do just the living room, maybe the guest bathroom, maybe the kitchen, just the few items that I need. And then I've passed on the rest of the things. Will you be doing your own maintenance? Maybe you have a garage full of tools, lots of items that you used to use when you did a lot of things at your home, and now you're thinking of downsizing. There are wonderful places to donate tools. Usually my clients, if they're moving to a community like the Fields, they'll take maybe a toolbox full of things. If you're going to be putting up a picture, if you're going to be fixing little pieces of furniture, things like that, take those kinds of things, because chances are when you move to a community or apartment building or a townhome, a lot of places have maintenance people that will come and take care of things for you. So you really just need the essentials. So in the complimentary assessment that we do, as I said, they will come out and give you an estimate on our services. They'll talk to you about what you would need. Do you want us to do the whole thing, or do you want us to just do pieces of it? They will leave you with that estimate. And then if you call us back and say, yes, we'd like to use you, that same move manager comes back out and starts with your floor plan. So if you're moving to the Fields, we get your floor plan, and that move manager would figure out with you walking around your home what furniture you're going to be taking, where is something going to go, and will it fit? Because you only want to take things that have a place. If you're moving yourself and you're doing your floor plan, measure your closet rods so you know how much closet space you'll have. Really measure before you start going through your kitchen. Measure the cupboards, the width and the depth, because a lot of new cupboards are a lot smaller than we're used to if you're moving from a home. Then you'll have an idea of what you have to take. Here's 20 bucks. Make sure the plaid chair never gets there. This has actually happened, but I put it in because I want people to think about the things that they're going to be taking with them. You want to start in the room that you spend most of your time in. That's the room you want to recreate. You want to have that chair that you sit in at night and watch the news next to the table with the lamp that you can turn on without looking. That keeps your stress level down, and it's a lot easier to acclimate to a new space when we move. So now you're ready to get your bags and boxes ready. I always put a box together and put in a big trash bag, because as we go through even closets, drawers, we're going to find little pieces of trash and things to throw away. If you have an open box, it won't stop your momentum. You'll just be able to throw it right in and keep moving. When I work with somebody and they have family members that they think they're going to find things they may want them to look at or that is theirs to take, we make a bag or box for each one of those people, put their name on it, and we usually put it along a wall. And then as we start going through things, if we find Janie's yearbook and we know it's hers, we want to ask her about it, we put it in her bag or box. I always make a box for donation, so you can put things in there you want to donate. And I always have a hazardous box made. That's when you go through your basement and you find old paint. Maybe you find cleaning supplies. Put them in a hazardous box and take them to every county has a recycling hazardous waste center that you can just drive in and drop it off, even if it's full, because they often will have a shelf where you can put things there and people come and get donations. At Gentle Transitions, we use the kind of dots that people use for garage sales. We use green, red, and yellow. So if you were moving, your move manager would walk around your house with you and put green dots on things that are going to be moving with you. They would put yellow dots on things that you're not sure of yet, or things that you want to donate. And then they would put red on things that maybe you're having an estate sale, or you're not taking with you. Maybe you're moving first and you're going to have the kids go through the house afterwards. So use red dots on things that aren't going with you. So for example, when I go through a kitchen, I always start in one place and I move clockwise. And once I go to a cupboard, I take everything out and I only put back the things that I use. Then the things that are left behind, I put in a box for either donation or where it's going. And if you're moving, you put a green dot right on the cupboard. So if Gentle Transitions is moving you, we know that's going with you. If you do your whole kitchen and you have cupboards that have green dots, you can tell somebody in your family, just pack the things with the green dots. I've already gone through them. That's a good way that you don't have to be over somebody's shoulder and somebody can help you with the packing. So the green dots are often treasures, things you're absolutely going to be taking. And this is where people are thinking about photos and heirlooms. If you have boxes of photos and they're large boxes, maybe you have photo albums, but you haven't put them in photo albums, I would encourage you not to do that. I would take the box. If it's a large box, take a bunch of photos and put it in a shoebox and do it little by little. Sit down in that chair that you watch the news in at night with a photo pen and a garbage. If you come across things that you don't know the people and there's no one around that could tell you, and it doesn't say it on the back, you can toss it. If it's landscape, toss it. If there are things of people that you know and it's not written on the back, you write it on the back. When you're done, put it all back in the box. The kids can have the box. They'll probably digitize it anyway. So just leave the box with them with the photos identified. Yellow stuff, sometimes people have estate sales, antique appraisers maybe need to look at them. Consignment, maybe they're going to family or charitable organizations. And I'll just quickly run through a few. If you're having an estate sale, I can tell you only 5% of the 1,200 people we moved last year had an estate sale. Because estate sale people want you to have enough stuff that they value because they get paid first. So they'll often tell you, we need to make this amount for us to do your estate sale. If you're going to have one, you want them to be a professional, you want them to like them. You want them to be in the business for years, not just as a hobby. Maybe they have their own appraisers. Ask them how they advertise. Do they have a mailing list? Do they do social media? You want as many people to see that you're having a sale as possible. You want them to be licensed and insured, and you want to ask them how they set up and how they clean up afterwards. Most people that I work with as a sorter, I ask them where they'd like to donate. So if somebody comes to help you, you want to tell them the certain places you want things to go. Bridging and the Silver Closet are wonderful places. Sometimes people like the Salvation Army or ARC. If you have somebody that you want to pick up things, ask them if they charge. Ask them what they will accept. They often have websites that you can look at and get a tax slip. Some people sell things on social media. I had a wonderful client that did this with her grandson over the summer. It was a little bit of a cottage industry. And they had a lot of fun selling things on Craigslist. Some people use eBay. A lot of people are using their apps on their iPhones, which is, I use Nextdoor. There's Facebook Marketplace, there's several. And that's usually people in your neighborhood. And you can even put things at the end of your driveway and just put it on next door and say, end of the driveway, take it if you need it. So that's a great way to get rid of things little by little when you know things have to go. Some people are using bagsters. Those are those green bags you see at the end of people's driveways. Those are from Home Depot, Menards, any hardware store has them. They're about $29. You can put almost anything in a bagster except electronics and hazardous waste. And then you call for a pickup, and depending upon your zip code, they'll tell you how much it costs. It could be $100, but you can fill these to the brim with especially clearing out a garage, old wood, old filing cabinets, old toilets, anything you want to put in them. They're wonderful. If you're choosing your own mover, at Gentle Transitions, we work with movers that we've vetted over the years. If you're choosing your own, you want them to be local and residential, be in the business for years, bonded and insured, and licensed. You also want to ask them, have you moved people to this location before? Because they should know the move-in policy, especially during the time of COVID, if you're going to be moving within the next year. Communities are incredible. They're doing such a good job at making it safe for you to move in. You want to make sure your mover also has a good policy to keep everybody safe. We do packing and moving in 2 days at Gentle Transitions. First day is pack day. If your house is downsized, we can move an entire house in 4 to 6, we can pack an entire house in 4 to 6 hours. Whoever is packing up your kitchen is going to unpack it the next day. So they're paying close attention to where you like things. The next day, that same crew comes back and unpacks the boxes at your new place and puts things on the wall, sets your clock, plugs in your lamps, puts clothes in the closets, gets your computer running, and we can even hang the artwork so that you are all done. You can go to lunch and come back and your whole house is done, which is just amazing. At Gentle Transitions, we're known for photographing and replicating. So your crew that is packing you, if they're packing a china cabinet, they're taking a picture of each shelf. And then when they get it to your new place, everything goes back the exact same way. That goes with your nightstand that's on the side of your bed. Things are going to be there that were there the day before. You can do this with your own family members so they know how to put things back, and you don't have to do it all yourself if they're helping you unpack. And for proof of condition, if you're hiring your own mover, take pictures of your items. We also take a picture of the front of your fridge because most people have their whole lives on their fridge. They have their phone numbers, their pictures, their calendars. So we take a picture and it goes back the exact same way so that you have all the things as familiar as possible. One day, son, all this will be yours. This is what you don't want to be. You don't want to have all this stuff that you need to take care of before you start going on to the next fun journey in your life, whether you're moving or whether you're just opening up space. So leave today with this little sentence: start early so the decisions will be yours. The longer you wait, the decisions can be taken away from you. So start tomorrow. And I'm going to hand it back. There we go.
Hello.
There she is.
Hi, I'm Rachel. So for everyone I didn't get to talk to earlier, I'm the marketing consultant at Ebenezer. We're managing the fields at Arbor Glen. So I get to put together the fun events and do social media and things of that nature. So I'm so happy that you guys could join us today. I know we are competing with a beautiful day, so thank you all for joining. I think we're going to open up to questions, and you can all unmute your lines if you do have questions. So I'll just, let's see, you should be able to unmute yourself if you do have a question. So we'll give it a minute or so. And I just have to say, I kid you not, every time I hear you guys talk, I take away so much information, like nuggets. I'm like writing stuff down furiously because I'm going to be moving in spring, or hopefully moving in spring. So I always have my notes aside here. So I'm not seeing any people raising their hands or having any questions right now, but we will make available this video. So we did record this video and we'll send it out to all of you participants here today so you can rewatch. And if you want contact information for Jill or Lisa, we'll be able to provide that to you guys. And let's see what else I wanted to say. I know we're going to get into the gifts because the gift cards, and we have a drawing here today. Was there any things that you guys wanted to note, Jill or Lisa, before I get into that other fun stuff?
I don't think so on my end. We're open for questions if people just want to call us.
Okay, great. I'm gonna go once, gonna go twice for questions. I'm not seeing any questions from anybody. So, so again, I hope you gained a lot of valuable knowledge. These gals, we've worked with them for many years. Again, we're part of Ebenezer, so we've been around for a long time, and these guys are trusted partners of ours. I would count on them for anything, so you can too. If you want more information about the fields at Arbor Glen or haven't toured yet, our sales office is now open. Our property manager, Peggy Arnie, couldn't be with us today. She had a family thing going on, but she is available for, you know, showing you the floor plans and all that good stuff. And we are still slated to open in March of 2021, and it's coming along beautifully. I'm sure if you guys have had interest in the fields that you've driven by there.
I'm actually sitting in the temporary office where Peggy's chair today. So for those of you who don't know, we do have a temporary office, which is across the street from where the site is. And we are meeting with people if that's something that interests you. So thank you for being here.
Yeah. We've got floor plans and pricing and all that good stuff. So for the first giveaway, it was the first 5 people to RSVP and to attend the whole event got a $25 gift card for Gorman's Restaurant right there in Lake Emma. And there are 6 of you on the call. So guess what? You get a gift card, and you get a gift. Everybody's going to get a $25 gift card because I'm not going to leave one person not getting a gift card. So do be sure that if you have not already, send us your address either through Peggy Arnie's email if you have that, or filling out the form fill on the website. And then I did draw for a $100 gift card winner during the presentation, and it goes to Mary Claire Hunt. Is Mary still on? You're going to get a $100 Target gift card. Whoop, whoop. Any last questions from anybody here today? Again, we thank you so much that you, during this beautiful day, that you came and got lots of knowledge from our friends here. Oh, Carol has a question. Hold on, let's see. I'm trying to ask to unmute your phone, but I think you might have to do it. Well, let's see. Carol, you might have to call us or text us or email us. Oh, you're on.
Okay, it did happen, but I kept getting a message that you are not allowing us to unmute. So that's why you weren't getting any questions.
Oh, it shouldn't have been that way. Here, I can.
Yeah, but it was, because I do a lot of these Zooms. And then when I pushed unmute, it said that you're not letting us unmute.
Oh my goodness. Well, I'm so
But
sorry.
anyway, I just will make a comment that, you know, I've been thinking about this for a long time, and this has been very, very helpful today. And I just think you've done a great job. I thank you. And yeah, I thank you very much.
Awesome.
I have a comment. Hi.
Hi.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Good. I would like to have some sort of checklist, like different kind of items, like in the bathroom, what are the duplicates, what are the expiration date, and how to make decisions. And then in the kitchen, list out a few things, keep so many like
Any
topping,
questions?
not more than 10 count, of Tupperware, like the food containers, and then pans and pots and all of these things. I like to have a checklist of what's realistic, what's really a family less than 4 people would need.
Okay.
And
So,
then,
so
yeah.
maybe I can connect Jill with you. Gigi, I do have your information. So maybe
Sure.
she can give you some good resources.
I
Would
have
that work?
a couple good things for you, and I also have a kitchen inventory list. It's a basic stuff that you need to take with you that I can share with you.
Great, I'll
That's
connect
cool.
you too. And again, this video will be made available to all of you. So we have your email addresses, and we'll send this out once I've processed the video and have a link for it, so that you can rewatch. And I know that you guys shared your contact information on your slides too. So you'll be able to call them or get in touch with them.
Perfect.
Yeah. Anything else from our friends?
Thank you.
All right. Well, thank
Thank
you
you.
guys so much. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you again.
Bye.